Hello and welcome to the Splendor of Truth. We just finished with part one, which focused on trying to define truth and to provide us a solid foundation to move ahead with our inquiry. So now we begin part two, which I call the refutations, where we are going to challenge certain commonly held beliefs. One of these is witchcraft. And so, chapter 4 is entitled Witchcraft as Philosophically Unjustifiable. What if I told you that one of the most widely acceptable explanations of suffering in many parts of the world, Europe, North America, Latin America, Asia, and Africa, has no foundation, no philosophical foundation whatsoever? Across cultures, people attribute illness, disease, suffering, poverty, failure to witchcraft. But today, I want to confront this directly and without ambiguity. Witchcraft is philosophically unjustifiable. In this video, I will explain exactly why. What is witchcraft to begin with? Witchcraft is typically understood as the alleged ability of individuals to cause harm or influence events through hidden, supernatural, or non-empirical means. In other words, it is the belief that someone can harm you without physical interaction through invisible and unobservable forces. Now, notice something very important. We call it witchcraft. But is it actually a craft? A craft, by definition, involves a method, a skill, a repeatable process, observable outcomes, and something that can be taught. Carpentry is a craft, for example. Medicine is a craft. Engineering is a craft. Why? Because they have mechanisms, techniques, verifiable results. Witchcraft has none of these. Witchcraft has none. It has no identifiable method, no observable process, and no reproducible outcome. So, strictly speaking, witchcraft is not even a craft. And that alone should make us pause, because what is being presented as a practice lacks every characteristics of a real practice. Why is witchcraft unjustifiable? In my framework, critical synthetic realism, for something to count as knowledge, it must satisfy key criteria. One, correspondence with reality. There must be observable evidence. Witchcraft fails this. There is no empirical demonstration that individuals can causally affect others through supernatural means. Coherence, causality. A claim must explain how something happens. Witchcraft provides no causal mechanism. How does the supposed harm occur? Through what process? By what interaction? There is no answer. 3. Falsifiability. A valid claim must be testable and disprovable. Witchcraft is not. If something bad happens, it is blamed on witchcraft. If nothing happens, it is said that the witch was blocked. This makes the belief immune to disproof. And any belief that cannot be disproved cannot be philosophically justified. 4. Predictive power. Real knowledge allows us to predict outcomes. Witchcraft does not. It explains events after they happen, but it cannot reliably predict them. Let me make a clear declaration. Let me state this clearly. Witchcraft is philosophically unjustifiable because it lacks evidence, it lacks mechanism, it lacks testability, and it lacks predictable power. It is not knowledge. It is belief without epistemic grounding. So why do people still believe in witchcraft? If witchcraft fails philosophically, why does it persist? Let me propose an answer. It persists because it serves psychological needs. The first being projection. People externalize blame. Someone did this to me. 2. Control. It provides an explanation in uncertain situations. 3. Pattern seeking. Humans connect unrelated events and impose meaning. Instead of asking, what caused this? People ask, who caused this? Witchcraft answers the who, even when the how is missing. The social consequences. The consequences are profound and often tragic. Witchcraft accusations lead to violence, exclusion, abuse, and even death. And most often, the victims are the vulnerable, children, widows, and the elderly. But there is an even deeper cost, epistemic paralysis. When societies attribute problems to invisible causes, they ignore real ones: poor healthcare, weak institutions, and economic failures. And as a result, these problems persist. Philosophy as liberation. Philosophy liberates us from this. It teaches us to demand evidence, to seek real causes, to align belief with reality. Because truth is not just intellectual, it is practical. And when we understand reality correctly, we gain the power to change it. If you want a deeper and more comprehensive analysis of this topic, I encourage you to explore both of my books. The first, which is this one, The Splendor of Truth. Again, chapter 4 focuses on witchcraft. And here we stick more to the philosophy part of it. However, when I discuss the question of witchcraft, many people take me to the theological realm. They start asking, they claim that but the Bible talks about witchcraft, which I say that is not true. But the whole question of witchcraft, whether theologically, philosophically, psychologically, anthropologically, even legally, is treated in this book, Encountering Witchcraft, which was recently published by Generis Publishing, and where I offer a detailed interdisciplinary study of witchcraft beliefs, examining their philosophical incoherence, theological weakness, psychological roots, and the social consequences. This brings us to the end of chapter 4. In the next video, we move to chapter 5, the epistemic fracture and the cause of stagnation, the cure for underdevelopment. There, I will show how false systems of knowledge are not just theoretical errors, they are the foundation of real world underdevelopment. If you found this presentation insightful, click like below and subscribe to this channel. And if you want the full argument, again, consider buying my book, The Splendor of Truth, from Amazon or from the publisher with and stock. Or you, and I would not say and uh, a much deeper study of witchcraft called Encountering Witchcraft, which was just recently published by Generis Publishing in Europe. And you can get it from their website. It will ultimately be on Amazon, but right now it's still only available on their website, Generis Publishing. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next chapter where we begin to uncover the true causes of stagnation and the path to liberation. Bye for now.